Connection cures. Overcoming the modern loneliness epidemic. In an age where the illusion of constant digital connectivity pervades our lives, it's a cruel paradox that so many of us feel profoundly isolated and chronically lonely. The proliferation of superficial virtual interactions has left a vast chasm in our lives, leaving many of us starved for the authentic, emotionally nourishing relationships that are fundamental to human thriving. This insidious loneliness poses grave risks to both our mental and physical well-being. But there is hope. By taking purposeful, multi-pronged action on both individual and societal levels, we can combat the loneliness epidemic and foster the deeply fulfilling interpersonal bonds that are so vital to our holistic health. On an individual level, the first step is to be proactive and intentional about prioritizing your closest, most meaningful relationships. Identify the handful of people who matter most, those rare individuals with whom you share a profound bond of understanding and acceptance. Then make them a priority by setting aside designated scheduled times to be fully present with them, minimizing distractions from devices, multitasking, or restless mind-wandering. During these sacred intervals of communion, ask thoughtful, open-ended questions that foster deeper conversations beyond the superficial realm of small talk. Make the other person feel truly listened to, met with unbridled attentiveness and care. Such radical presence is what cultivates true intimacy. For those seeking to forge new connections, do not let fear, self-consciousness, or inertia hold you back from putting yourself out there. Embrace vulnerability by attending local social events, taking an enrichment class, joining a club aligned with your interests, or simply striking up conversations in shared spaces like parks, cafes, or community centers. Exchange contact information with those who seem to have interests or values compatible with your own, and then follow through by suggesting a one-on-one meetup to allow the friendship to blossom organically. It's also crucially important to develop a conscious relationship with social media and other virtual platforms. While these can provide vital tools for maintaining some connections across geographic distances, frequently indulging in the passive consumption of curated depictions of others' lives can invariably breed profound feelings of disconnection, inadequacy, and isolation. Be judicious about your digital habits. Disable notifications, allot designated time limits for mindless scrolling, and prioritize your real-world relationships over virtual ones. To nourish yourself against the pernicious effects of loneliness, discover activities, practices, and spaces that provide a profound sense of flow, purpose, and present moment awareness. Whether it's exercising regularly, practicing meditation or mindfulness, engaging in a creative hobby, volunteering your time, or intentionally immersing yourself in the rejuvenating balm of nature, nurturing these aspects of your humanity can serve as a powerful bulwark against the intrusive thoughts, ruminations, and debilitating emotional states that so often accompany protracted loneliness. In parallel, we must be proactive about nurturing and sustaining community support systems and institutions that can serve as fertile soil for human connection to blossom. Whether it's developing a welcoming environment at your workplace, spiritual community, club, or neighborhood, make concerted efforts to create an atmosphere of inclusivity where all feel seen, heard, and intrinsically valued. Moreover, we must directly challenge the pervasive cultural narratives and ideological forces that glorify busyness, hyper-individualism, and a lack of emotional intelligence. Reject the notion that prioritizing nurturing relationships over corporate productivity or self-interested pursuits is a form of weakness. Share openly and vulnerably about your own experiences with loneliness and emotional isolation to combat the stigma and shame that prevents so many from seeking the support and intimate communion they so desperately crave. Utilize your skills as a communicator and your platforms to be a resonant voice, advocating for more inclusive community spaces, civic events, and urban designs that organically facilitate healthy socializing and relationship building. Undoing the deep grooves of isolation and chronic loneliness that have become defaults for many in our society will require steadfast, sustained effort. For those struggling with acute experiences of emotional disconnection or depressive states, do not hesitate to reach out for professional therapeutic support. You do not have to go through this arduous, often painful journey alone. By taking a multi-layered, comprehensive approach, integrating purposeful individual practices with larger social and civic rejuvenations, we can incrementally unravel the tangled web of isolation ensnaring our culture. Cultivate quality time with your nearest and dearest existing loved ones, summoning the courage and vulnerability to allow those relationships to exponentially deepen. Push yourself to forge new, authentic connections, creating more intake valves for the human warmth and affirmation we all need. And play your part in shifting the very paradigms and infrastructures of our society to reprioritize the primacy of human relating, of felt interdependence, of soulful communion, above the ultimately empty ideals of pure rationality and atomized productivity. It is an arduous journey, to be sure, but the rewards are immense. A renewed reverence for this all-too-fleeting human experience, a reawakening of our profoundest selves through the crucible of interpersonal intersection, and a rekindling of the unbreakable truth that we are never truly alone or adrift, but rather existentially tethered in this collective unfurling of consciousness we call life. By weaving an evergreen web of deep, supportive relationships, you will not only vanquish loneliness, but fortify the unshakable foundation for community, purpose, and holistic thriving. Thank you for watching this video. If you would like to support this channel, then please hit the like button and subscribe.